You would have seen the ads on TV for magnetic therapy, the mattresses with magnets in them strong enough to cure things like bad backs. You probably even know someone who has one. Lots of people have purchased these things and are lying on them every night. Well, this morning our resident Dr. Shaun Holt is here to tell us why he reckons they just don't work. Shaun, good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
A lot of people are going to be sad to hear this because they've forked out hundreds of dollars for these things.
Yeah, you're probably going to get a lot of feedback on this. Like you mentioned mattresses, but there could be other benefits from them because they're often covered in wool and they might give you more support and more warmth.
But we're focusing on the magnet.
But from the magnetic point of view, you're not going to get any health benefits from magnets.
How do you know that to be the case?
Oh, it's been very, very well researched. This was invented around 500 years ago. Many good research projects have looked at it. And the whole thing rests on whether the iron in your hemoglobin, in your blood, is magnetic or not and can be influenced by magnets.
So effectively, are they saying that the magnetic therapy improves circulation?
Basically, yes.
So this goes for the magnetic wristbands, anything that is based on magnetism.
Shoe insoles. I mean, it's a $1 billion industry. It's a huge industry, but it's just not magnetic. You know, you can get a fridge magnet yourself, put it on your arm. If it was magnetic, it should go red underneath. It doesn't. And as we said before, off air, if people got into an MRI scanner, you know, a magnetic resonance
which is based
imaging,
on very strong
they're
magnetism.
hundreds of times more powerful. If you got in there and there was anything in this, you would explode. So I just want to reassure people that when they're going for their scan today, they'll be absolutely fine.
So what you're telling us is it's actually good news that they don't work.
That's right.
If you need an MRI.
That's right.
How can they be so successful? I mean, you hear people say, don't you? You hear people say, God, I got one of these things, I started lying in, and almost instantly I received relief. It's
all about testimonials, and you get a lot of famous celebrities, you know, giving testimonials. And I say, for, say, a wrist support, you might get some warmth and some other support. The magnet's not doing anything. Any metal in there would help. But it's what we call the natural history of a condition. So for sleep or for aches and pains, you know, they're usually up and down like this. And when it's pretty bad, people might go and buy something magnetic and then they'll get better, but they would have got better anyway. Now, in their heads, they'll always absolutely be convinced that it was due to the magnet.
The industry, in response to what you're saying, will say, well, look at these testimonials. We have too many of them for this just to be chance. And you hear a lot of sports people speaking out and saying, you know, we had this problem for decades. All of a sudden, we started resting on these bloomin' blankets and we started to feel chipper.
But you know, the small research projects are way, way more important than testimonials, I say, because people confuse whether something has caused an improvement or if it's just happened anyway. So, yeah, you always got to go for the research. However, with the magnets, look, they're not going to do any harm, that's for sure. So I'm not...
And that is the first rule, isn't it?
Of course it is.
The first rule is don't exacerbate a problem.
Yeah, and if people get them, they think it works for them, that's great. I don't want to stop you. But, you know, for things like sleep and aches and pain, I always say go with the research. And there could be other things, you know, maybe even natural things as well, that do have good evidence behind them.
Because you don't entirely poo-poo natural things just for the sake of it.
No, I support the ones that work and not the ones that don't.
And we've talked in the past about the placebo effect. And if you have a friend who's suffered from the same sort of thing as you, and she or he have purchased one of these bloomin' things and they believe it's made them better, they could sell it to you. And is it possible for that reason alone that when you sleep on it you start to feel better?
Absolutely. And I guess you could say, well, if that's the reason it works, even if the magnets do something, that's probably a good thing. And, hey, I'm not arguing with that.
Shaun, thank you very much for joining us. You may well have saved us hundreds and hundreds of dollars. For some people, though, it will be too late.